There is a gigantic memorial service planned for Charlie Kirk this Sunday that's supposed to be taking place at the State Farm Stadium in Arizona. And of course, because unfortunately we have to share this country with a bunch of evil, mentally deranged weirdos, of course, there's a lot of threats coming in for this event. But not just threats against the event itself. No, people are threatening to hurt Charlie's kids and his wife at this memorial service. And it goes without saying that they're threatening to take out Trump and all types of stuff. And this is why I've been warning you guys that we are not out to clear. The violence surrounding Charlie's death is not over. The left, they wanted a different reaction. That's why they've been going and poking and prodding and trying to provoke people at all of these different memorial services. They're not going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. Things have been so bad, and I've done my best to bring awareness to this stuff, but it's kind of hard. I'm just one person with a small channel. We got the mainstream media out here running cover for the killers, romanticizing the killers, saying, oh, Tyler and his convo with his furry freak boyfriend was so touching. We got them doing that. Meanwhile, there are people trying to blow up news vans. A 18-year-old black girl in Florida got caught on her way to shoot up a Charlie Kirk memorial. It didn't make the mainstream news at all. You probably didn't hear about it unless you saw the video on my channel. So there is a lot going on right now, and because of all of these threats, they've had to heighten the security at Charlie Kirk's memorial service to the highest height possible. They are treating it like a presidential inauguration. A man who was senselessly gunned down in front of his kids can't even have a memorial service without the highest security, the highest level of security possible. Because there's that many deranged loonies in this country. And the ones that aren't deranged and loony, a lot of them have been enabling the deranged loonies. Okay? That's the reality. And I think it's sad that here we are, getting ready to lay Charlie to rest, and it seems like we can't even do that in peace. We can't even have a memorial service in peace without these people trying to shoot it up or blow up news vans and God knows what. And these are the people that said Charlie was hateful and that his words would lead to violence. Yeah, they were right. Charlie's words led to violence. Charlie's words led to mentally deranged trans leftist lunatics acting out in rage because they can't handle a few words that they disagree with. A few words that were the truth, by the way. I'm tired of this, oh, well, you didn't have to agree with Charlie. It's okay to have a difference of opinions. The reason they wanted Charlie dead was not because of a difference of opinions. They wanted Charlie dead because he simply said the facts. There's no debate over the facts. Men are men, women are women. There's no debate over that. That's not an opinion. Black people commit the most crime at the highest rate here in America. That's not a debate. There's no conversation to be had there. That's a fact. There's a lot of things that Charlie just threw out there that were facts. And the left and these crazy deranged weirdos, they don't like facts. They want to live in la la land. And if you pull them out of their la la land, they want you dead. So unfortunately, that's where we're at right now. We got to sit here. You know, it sucks enough that we have this memorial service because Charlie should still be here. But now everyone's kind of on edge because they can't even feel comfortable at this memorial service because they don't know if there's going to be some type of trans terror attack or something. It's sick. But they were discussing this on the news. They were talking about some of the security measures. They were also talking about some of the threats that have come in for Erica Kirk, Trump, JD Vance, you name it. There's all types of crazy stuff going on right now. And supposedly the FBI is looking into these threats and they're looking into different people. I have no confidence at all that they're going to do anything. And I'm going to be honest with you, I'm tired of sitting here and pretending like they do a great job at their job. They do a great job at their job. They don't. They suck. Let's just be real here. Every mass, I got to be careful with the words I use here on YouTube. Every evil person that carries out these crazy events where they hurt a bunch of people, they're always on the FBI radar or the watch list. And the FBI never stops these people or prevents any of these crimes from happening. So I'm tired of of pretending like they're competent and they actually do their jobs, working for the American people. If anything, I think they're working against us. And I know some people think that things have changed because we're under a new administration, but I don't have any faith in Kash Patel and Dan Bongino. Did you see all the stuff they were saying on their podcast? And as soon as they got into a position where they could actually do something, they changed everything. And now they're pretending like Epstein isn't a big deal and all of that stuff. I don't trust none of these people at all. At all. But supposedly, the FBI who couldn't find Tyler Robinson 15 minutes down the street eating Dairy Queen after he killed Charlie, don't worry, they're looking into the threats made against this memorial service. But like I said, they discussed this on the news. I have a clip that I want to show you, but before I roll that clip, make sure you hit that thumbs up, make sure you subscribe, make sure you ring that notification bell. And if you want to take your support one step further, you know how to donate. You can donate via Cash App or Super Thanks. Always humbly and greatly appreciated. But with that being said, let's watch this clip and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, where in 2 days the public will be paying their respects to Charlie Kirk. Security for this funeral is very tight. Kirk, as you know, was shot and killed just 9 days ago at an event at Utah Valley University. 31 years old, he leaves behind his wife, Erica, and their 2 kids. As he drew big crowds at events that he attended and debated students, his memorial service also expected to be packed. There is a website dedicated to this event listing speakers, including well-known Christian worship leaders. More names will be announced. A tribute on fightforcharlie.com says he died doing what he loved, fighting for truth, for faith, for family, and for America. Kelly Meyer is live from Turning Point headquarters in Phoenix with more first on the security and some of the threats that they're monitoring.
Yeah, certainly security is high here. You can already feel it here outside of Turning Point headquarters here in Phoenix, Arizona. You can see that memorial behind me outside of the headquarters. There are already police here blocking off the road. We had to make sure we were checked as we came in here. So certainly something they are taking very seriously. We are also getting new information coming into News Nation from 2 sources telling our Kevin Bone that federal law enforcement are investigating several threats of unknown credibility around some of the expected attendees at Sunday's memorial. So these are threats against President Donald Trump, Vice President J.D. Vance, and members of the Kirk family. Those are among the threats being looked into, the sources tell News Nation. And this is in a memo issued by several federal agencies, including the FBI, DHS, and Secret Service. This is not a verified, credible threat against the event, but rather threats of unknown credibility, which are not verified but still must be thoroughly investigated, the sources say. So that is something we are just getting into our newsroom and taking a look at. But this is all ahead of that service you mentioned happening on Sunday, being held in the NFL stadium where the Arizona Cardinals play. It holds 63,000 plus people in there, and they already have an overflow room ready. They are telling attendees not to bring any bags, not even those clear bags that you normally bring to sporting events. They also say the enhanced security measures may mean longer lines, so to prepare for that. We heard from the executive producer of the Charlie Kirk Show telling our Chris Cuomo just how overwhelmed they've been by the support coming out here. Take a listen to this.
I think the reaction to Charlie's assassination has been nothing short of miraculous. You know, I see God all over it. I feel sustained by the prayers of this country. Chris, I can't explain it, but I have thousands and thousands of texts of everybody saying that they're praying for us and all of these prayer vigils. And I think that this has unleashed something.
And a senior Department of Homeland Security official also tells News Nation that they raised this to the highest level of security here at this event. So that means the highest level of security, similar to what you see for the State of the Union or for presidential inaugurations. Marnie.
Wow. Kelly, there also is a House floor vote starting soon for a debate and a vote on a resolution that would honor Charlie Kirk. Tell us more about that and what we should expect.
Yeah, we've seen a slew of memorials and resolutions coming out really to support Charlie Kirk in Congress. So ever since we were at the vigil on Sunday night at the Kennedy Center, where several members of Congress were there, upwards of 80 members there on Sunday, including the House Speaker Mike Johnson speaking. And then throughout the week, there were moments of silence on the House floor. And now with this resolution they are putting out there to remember Charlie Kirk as well. There were also talk on Capitol Hill of a potential statue to put in there on Capitol Hill. So there is a lot of discussion around that coming from Republicans, mostly in the House there. You could see the action on the House floor. We're going to monitor that. But again, that coming ahead of the services this weekend.
To be honest with you guys, my main concerns are not for this big memorial service on Sunday. They got a lot of money. They got heightened security. They're going to have it inside of a football stadium. I think for the most part, I'm sure people will try something, and I hope the FBI is actually doing their job. You know, working a little bit harder than they did to find Tyler, who was right down the street eating Dairy Queen during their massive manhunt. I hope the FBI is actually looking into things and doing their jobs and bringing these people in, kind of like they need to bring in the people who were working with Tyler, who we all know knew what Tyler was going to do, including his trans boyfriend. Meanwhile, they're still out here in the free world, possibly planning other attacks. Hopefully the FBI actually does their job here. So I'm not as concerned with this large memorial service on Sunday as I am with these smaller little services happening in random towns and cities across America, happening on college campuses across America. I think that's where the real danger is. And unfortunately, so many people that are going to these little services don't understand the danger that they are in, because the mainstream media is actively covering up threats and attacks and possible attacks and failed attacks that have already happened at these memorial services. So that's what I am more concerned about. And I just hope that people do not let their guard down. People need to understand what we're dealing with here. Like, I understand that you're a peaceful person and I'm a peaceful person and we all just want to live our lives. But the reality is there's a portion of this country that is bloodthirsty and mentally deranged. And regardless if we want to accept it, regardless if we want to acknowledge it, regardless if we even know it or not, they are waging war against us on a daily basis. This did not start with Tyler and Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is not the first casualty of this war. Radical trans weirdos have been going to Christian schools and hurting kids and targeting kids for a couple of years now. So I don't know why people think we're in the clear now that Charlie was killed and Tyler was brought in. No, that was not the beginning, and that is not the ending. You need to stay frosty out here. Stay aware. Keep your head on a swivel. Don't put yourself in danger when you don't need to. Be very careful out here. Because like I said, I know that we all just want to live our lives. People want to go to work. They want to raise their kids. But while you're doing that, while you're going about your day-to-day life, there are trans lunatics in internet chat rooms plotting on your demise. Plotting on your kids' demise, luring your kids in on Roblox, trying to turn them into the next Charlie Kirk shooter. So just be aware. Just be very aware of the evils that we are up against. But with that being said, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all very soon in the next one.